that's reaching out to a third provider in YouTube, giving them the permission to connect, and it's redirecting to YouTube server rather than to wherever Zoom decides to reside in the cloud. So welcome, everybody. We have a few times together, and I am determined to get us over the finish line, and we won't, and any of the stragglers will be pushing each other through. Okay, welcome. Glad to see everybody is here, and hopefully in good spirits. So let me talk about, today is April 6th. We have the 8th, the 13th, and the 15th that we meet together, and then the 20th. So that's 5 sessions until the 22nd. And then the 22nd, Kiko, what's happening on the 22nd of April?
So our project to do? The
No.
final project?
No. 22nd, any other ideas?
We have our exam.
We have our exam. Good, Kiko. So we got to keep up. So you should have in your calendar on April 22nd, we have our exam. The exam is in the same place, in the same format. And what it will cover, our exam, is the chapters that we have gone over, which is since the first exam, which is TG3, which is the cloud computing and artificial intelligence. And we'll cover the chapter that's called ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning and Business Analytics. I will also have on the second exam chapters 4 and 5 included. Chapters 4 and 5, I think, are essential for us to know, and it's the foundation of everything beyond it. And why? It's on security and also on data management. I will give you next week your review guide, both with the multiple choice and the open-ended questions. And on the 20th of April, we will spend with a review, and you can give feedback to Lily if you liked her Kahoot. and if you think that was useful, let her with the thumbs up or thumbs down, whether you want to bother with that. And it will be the same format as it was before. You can take the multiple choice, or you can take anything that you want ahead of time. So this is the idea you can do. All right. So we don't have a lot of time, so let's do this. Let me share my screen and talk about what's due. What's up?
I might have missed something because it pushed me outside of the meeting. I just wanted to know, what chapters did you say it will cover again? I might have missed that.
It will cover then TG3, which is the cloud computing, chapter 14, which is the artificial intelligence, chapter 10, which is the ERP, and it also will be chapter 12, which is the business analytics plus 4 and 5 from last semester.
Okay, so it's 14, 10, 12, and TG3. Okay.
Right. And let me share my screen and we'll go over it. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. And a lot of things I have here. And what do you see on the screen, Ludovica?
I see us and like the YouTube, like on the YouTube.
So you see the live stream, we know that it's working, and we know that it is delayed, that there's some type of latency factor. Why? You see how my hands are moving, and why is that? Because in Zoom, they're using their server, and in order they're hopping from Zoom server into YouTube server, so you know there's latency. For us, it's bothersome if you see both, but it's not bothersome if you're just watching via YouTube or the others. It is of an issue. We talked about it. If timing of the 30 seconds or a minute is going to be of crucial instructions. Okay, we got that down. The next part is we always want to go to what's due. And I want to make sure that I'm in edit mode off so I see exactly the same thing that you are, so we can do it. So if I look at assignment 4 that's due today, the assignment was on the phone voice AI agent. And Reed, did you do this assignment? Did you get this done? The VAPI, the voice AI assignment done?
I have to talk to you after class about it.
Okay. All right. So basically, maybe you can text Lily of what is the issue. Kiko, did you get that done? The VAPI, the voice AI assignment?
I'll be honest, I did not. I was with my family this weekend.
Okay. So you see that, Lily? These are due at this time. Lily, you may want to check on who has put the assignments in it. And Elvin, did you do it? The VAPI assignment? Eben, did you do the VAPI assignment?
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay. Lily, who has done it?
Isabella's done it.
Okay. Isabella, how are you doing?
Hi,
Hi,
I'm
how are
good.
you?
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Isabella, did you do the VAPI voice assignment?
Yeah.
Okay, and what were your impressions of that?
Well, I thought it was cool because I've never been on the other side of the phone call in a way.
The program.
And I also thought it was cool how you can make it say whatever you want. And I guess I was expecting it to be harder than it really was.
Yeah, so it really
You
wasn't,
know?
and everybody, I don't know why. And how long did it take you to do?
No, I watched the tutorial.
Okay, from Isa, okay.
Yeah, and then it literally took me 15 minutes.
15 minutes, right? So there shouldn't be a reason why everyone else, if they want to get credit, that it would be done by the end of the day, right? That's a possibility. So, and why it's important is there are going to be questions about it on the exam. It's also important because it really talks about what? AI agents that we'll talk about. And what else is it? It's going to be required on our final project. So let's do this, Isabella. Let's have you get your phone
Okay, I
and
have it.
Isabella, let's have you put it on your speakerphone and you dial the number.
Okay.
And then we'll listen to what it says, and then it will see. And if it asks you what kind of business you are, you can even say maybe you're in the university business, right?
So I make the number that I called today?
Yeah. Let's see if it worked. And that's what you have to do. And everybody in your group.
Sorry.
Let's do it again, because I talked over you.
Okay. Oh, sorry, it just connected to my AirPods.
Okay.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna do one more time.
Well, from Service Link AI.
It goes fast.
Okay.
This is Isabella from Service Link AI. Hello?
Looks like it has some issues, right?
Professor?
Yeah. Does it have some issues?
I don't know why I can't hear you. Hello?
You talking to me?
Okay, now I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, so let's dial it again and see if it works, because it cut off on us.
That's so weird. I don't know why my whole thing just cut
System.
off.
We'll try it again. One more time if we can.
Bella from Service Link AI.
So I don't know why this is happening.
Yeah,
Because the first few times that I did it, it worked completely fine, but it like cuts the first, it goes like really fast
Yeah,
over the
right.
first.
you know what you may want to do is what I would do. There's a way in which you can speak. I would take it even tonight and try to change the voice, try to change the agent to another voice, and then save it and see if it works better. Do you understand what I said, Isabella? I don't hear you. You're on mute.
Hi. Yeah,
Hi. You're
I
on mute.
understand. Just like change the voice.
Change the voice and save it and then publish it and see if it works out better that way.
Okay.
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 And so maybe, Lily, what I'm thinking about is maybe have it due by midnight tonight. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I just tried Isabella's number and I'm pretty positive it worked for me.
Yeah.
Which one are you doing? Which one are you using, Isabella? Are you
I
using
was
the 5621 one?
I used 562-745 6937.
Hello, this
What
is
did you use?
Isabella from Service Link AI.
Oh, perfect.
Hello, can you tell me a bit about your company?
Hello, this is Morgan from. We help businesses improve operational efficiency.
Okay.
Okay,
Does
so
that
it
work?
does work.
Yeah.
So maybe something on her end.
Yeah, might be like, I don't know, but
Yeah. So
yeah, we can extend it to like by 11:59 tonight, but
okay.
I mean, at least from what I'm hearing from the students, it's more of like,
They didn't do it. It's
yeah,
not
they
because
just
it
didn't
wasn't
do
her.
it. So
Yeah, but I want them to do
I
it.
think to 11:59 tonight's more than enough time.
Yeah, I
Especially
do
since it
too.
takes it's like a 15-minute thing to do.
Right. So it's a half hour, but it's important why I'm saying that, Lily. It's crucial for the students to understand and get a hands-on. I don't even care, you know what I mean, that the students get a 0 on that assignment, which is a shame because it counts a lot more, that assignment, than, a quiz or one of our quizzes that we take. But it's the idea that this is such an important aspect and we have such a unique opportunity to have it, that I want, and it's going to be on the test, that I want our students to really have it. Plus, it's going to be part of our projects. And when the students go on, what is it better to do but to understand what an AI agent is and what is voice attached to it? So what I do for this section, and I haven't done it for any of my other sections, they did it just fine. Do you understand? But for this section, I guess it's the tired section that we have it, is I'll give you permission, Lily, to send them a note that it's extended till before midnight tonight for people to do it, to be able to have it done. So when we have it done, for this idea that it's crucial to you understand what a voice AI agent is. In terms of a voice AI agent, if you look at opening the link in the new tab, what are voice AI agents? This is an article that I want you to look at and to read and to understand it. And these are going to be, I guarantee you, these are going to be one of the open-ended questions that I include next week. But the idea of what's the difference between an AI voice agent and your regular telephone number. So Isabella, when you did this, do you understand what's the difference between if I called your number, your regular mobile number, versus I called an AI voice agent? What is the difference?
Well, like I would be picking up.
Number one, are you a voice agent? No. Are you an
Right.
AI agent? No. But the idea is your number, really, when you think about it, is really there's no large language model attached. There's no AI attached to that phone number. It's just a mobile phone number. What can I do? I can call it. You can pick up as a human being. I can text you. You can respond in text to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is not having a large language model. What an
Yeah.
AI voice agent does is via its intelligent software system that has real-time voice conversations with the users. And what I'll do, what is important for me is that you can do it over 4 phone calls and perform tasks that the AI can perform without human intervention, but that AI agent can send or call a regular human. So when you think about it, there's a difference between what we call an IVR, which is an interactive voice response. And you know that, Isabella, how? When you're in a hotel, or have you ever done something where they say, you call a number and they say dial 1 in your hotel for the front desk, 2 for the concierge, 3 for the bellman, 4 for billing?
Yeah.
That is called IVR. It is not AI, meaning it's just a rule base that they say, hey, what are they doing? When I press 1 for sales, they're just switching me over to that phone number, right? When I say press 2 for the bellman, they're just ringing the bellman's phone at his desk.
Mm-hmm.
What a voice AI agent is there is a large language model that is built on advanced speech, and that basically it's called what we call natural language processing. We have the software that will process language and try to understand not only the words, but what is unique here is the intent. What do I mean by intent? I mean the intent of what the user may not even by the words, but what is the person's intention. And what it can then do, it can troubleshoot, it can update accounts, it can schedule appointments. So rather than you on your website, Isabella, having your phone number listed, what's the problem with that? You have your phone number, that the whole world can have your phone number. Do you want the whole world to have your phone number? No. Do you want somebody that you don't even know have your phone number? You don't. You want to keep it private.
Yeah.
Right? So here you can have a phone number. You can use your phone number. It's almost like a screener too. If it's a
Yeah, that's
valuable
actually
customer.
true.
What?
That's true.
So if somebody really needs you and they say, hey, what are you charging for your services? And the AI agent doesn't know, what I want the AI agent to do is to have a list and say, hold on, let me contact you with someone. Has a list of everybody in your team, for instance.
Yeah.
And then it connects you. And then if you got on the line with the bot, with the agent, with the human, you could say, listen, our first session is free. And then afterwards, we'll negotiate based on the campaign. And then what I would want is that the agent learn from that and put that in the database. So the next time, Isabella, when someone calls, what will happen is they say, how much do they charge? They'll be able to say it's free for the first session, and then afterwards it's a negotiable, or it's based on the campaign. You understand?
Yeah.
So in this case, what's unique? agents have always been around for a while. AI agents, what's unique here is we're including the voice. Rather than just texting, you can have a conversation.
Yeah, like it's almost like it's like thinking.
Yes, and it's a conversation. It's not like you typing in. Sometimes it's really nice to have that conversation together. So what it does is, what's important here, there's something called automatic speech recognition that accurately converts what's spoken, or you remember we talked about inputted, and even in noisy environments, and then it analyzes the text to the user to intent for the user intent, and basically like names, dates, and orders. So this is what I want you to understand. There's a flow chart, and this is that first link called Delight here, AI. I think this is an excellent article of really capturing the flow chart. It starts here. You speak to it, right, Isabella? It's going to capture, the AI voice agent's going to capture your user voice input. It's not a human, right? So it doesn't understand. So it has automatic speech recognition that goes into what we call natural language processing. This has been around a long time, but it's gotten better and better, that even it can understand, let's say, English for other people that even don't have English as their first language. And then it comes to what we call a place in which it makes a decision. It's basically decision making and task execution, where it will be then, I have a decision to make. You can think about it as almost yes, no. You can think about it as, now I have to execute some task. It may be that I have to, basically, I could be healthcare asking you questions about your symptoms. I'd fill it out. And then you see what's unique here that you don't have in your regular phone, which is really, in a way, I can talk about your phone, even though they say it's a smartphone. It really doesn't have embedded in it that language model, is that it does continuous learning and improvement. This is the case for AI that I want. It can continuously learn and improve, and then it can convert back to text to speech. So you saw that if it asks me something, I respond, we can have it back and forth, and then it generates a natural response. Pretty neat. So this is not only an AI agent, sometimes they call it an intelligent AI voice agent. The key is AI, the key is agent, and the key that we create here is voice. So that's why I was telling Lily that she was a little bit upset that why students didn't do the homework assignment, and it wasn't because something didn't work, it was because they just didn't even attempt it. Is that this is so important that I want everyone to do it, because you really get, unless you do it, you don't get a good feel for it,
Yeah.
And you don't get a good feel, Isabella, that you can do it. You think, oh, I need a sophisticated computer engineer to create that. And now they're making it more and more in these models. And what I want you to do, and that's why it's important when you're going to be doing it with your group project, is not only just putting, hi, Mary from, what's the name of your company, Isabella?
Service Link AI.
Service Link AI, but it will be in the second prompt, you'll be able to put in information from your website about who is the team. So you could ask a question, by the way, who's on the team of Service Link AI? It's a great name, right? And then you could say, well, I want, and then what do you guys do? And how can, and what are your fees?
Yeah.
So then you can put it in, and you can put it in English terms, and then you can basically even put it into other LLMs like ChatGPT or Notebook LM, and say, I want the second prompt in the format of VAPI. And then you
Mhm.
can have a dialogue, and you can see here, it can work with an enterprise system. So when I think about an enterprise, Ludovica, what's an enterprise? Is Ludovica here online?
Yeah, Professor, I'm here.
Yeah, what's an enterprise?
Well, it's a large like company, like
It's a large company, right? That's complicated. A large company. So any enterprise, we know, what enterprise do we know is the university, right? We're both part of that enterprise. But any enterprise, so they have software. What's nice about these voice agents is I can connect to an enterprise and I can do CRM. Do you know what CRM stands for, Ludovica? It stands for Customer Relationship Management. It's basically, if I'm in sales, I want to have software to tell me about my sales, the sales customers I have, right? Customer, the relationship I have, and I want to manage that. So if I'm going to go on a call to a certain customer and I'm your customer, Ludovica, you want to know, what have you sold to me? What is my background, and what do you want to do? Really sell me more, but you want to try to sell me something that I need. You know, if you try to sell me, I don't know, golf clubs, and I don't play golf, you know, the only thing I would do with a golf club is maybe give it to as a gift to Lily. But I don't play golf, so you want to find out my customer relationship management. And notice here what they say, enterprise resource planning. And that enterprise resource planning, what is that? If I have an entire enterprise like the university, what do I want to do? I want to have a whole picture of what the university is doing. So what the agents are able to do is connect to all these others. And that's a bitty. And what does it do? It takes my text to speech. So in this case, what's great about these AI agents versus my regular telephone is that what they call enterprise grade is they learn from the historical call data. They're recording it, right, your call, and they're going then to leverage those large language models for what we call nuance reasoning. So what they'll be able to do is they'll be able to know when that caller really needs an agent. You don't want to be so frustrated, Ludovica, that you're talking to these agents and you say, you know, I just really want to speak to a human. Have you ever done that? Did you just say, get me to the human that can really do it?
It happened to me today. Like I was trying to speak to Verizon and like I kept calling them and they wouldn't, like I would say like talk to representative and they wouldn't like redirect me to them. And I was like,
right. So
yeah,
they're dumb. They're agents that they put in, and you get so frustrated that you don't even want to deal with that company again because they irritate you so much. They don't make it frictionless. So, but
that's wrong because they don't help you. Like at some point,
right.
like after the basic things you might need to do, like for more
Right.
complex stuff, they don't help you.
Yeah, so that's what they need to do. And they need to know when they need to transfer you to a human. I'm sorry, I can't answer that question, but I'll get you right to somebody that can. And then what are the nice ideas of the AI voice agent is that it's multilingual. So instead of hiring somebody just to answer the phone, just to screen it even, these advanced agents then can be basically multilingual, that you don't even, if they're good, you don't even have to say, do you speak Italian or do you speak French or do you speak Spanish? You just go right into that language and they understand and they'll respond. What also is good about these smart agents, that when a user speaks to the agent, they can recover gracefully. And this is unique too, and this is going to get better, is the tone and the sentiment analysis. What does it mean, the sentiment analysis? Like Ludovica, you ever speak to a friend and you ask them how they are, and even though they say they're okay, you know they're not okay? Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah.
And how do you tell? It's almost by their voice. You know
Well,
them
you
so
can tell
well.
by the voice, the way they're like speaking, you know.
Right. So in that case, it's just not, and we don't even know how we do it. You know what I mean? It comes naturally to us, right? Some people know how to do it better than others, right? But I can tell your voice, oh, you didn't have enough sleep, right? I can tell you're not really, even though you say you're okay, I know that something's bothering you. So in this case, I know you're happy, I know you're angry. This is what they're trying to do too, is program it that it does by the tone, by the sentiment. So what they can do too is they can respond if the person, if we're in customer support, if they're angry, you have to calm them down. You don't want to irritate them anymore, right? If you're talking about the idea that we're in healthcare and we're just doing a triage, right? If it's urgent, you want to be able to send them to the emergency room. So they're aware of the content. So this is the idea in which that integration, and what still we need is this: when do you fall back to live agents? This needs to be programmed in appropriately. Then it's a good conversation that you can have. And these are going to be just like anything else, Ludovica, AI is improving all the time. So these AI agents will improve all the time. That these updates, and it's basically that human still needs to program it and see where does it fit. Where in the workflow does it need to be fit? If, for instance, I'm working now with the GI folks for gastro at the medical school, and what the problem is, if you had some issue, Ludovica, now if you wanted to see one of the head doctors, it takes you 6 or 8 months to see them. Right? So they say, hey, we're going to lose a number of people. So instead, what they've done is they created an AI voice agent, not this school, but I'm trying to get them to do it. Another university is doing it, where they created a voice AI agent and they ask the patient questions. And based on their questions, if it seems like it's simple, then they hand them over to a nurse practitioner, and the nurse practitioner then can prescribe some simple drugs, either over the counter, or they can go to the pharmacy to get it. And in this case, they've solved it. And the more difficult symptoms get sent to the physician. So the physician then gets to see it. So you can see this oversight, and then you can see here compliance tools, that it's setting standards, and then what are the types you can really use it for: appointments, accounts, a number of different ways for issuing triage. I call routing, bill explanations, that this can do it well without even using that. And then they talk about, this is from a certain company, so they're going to advertise themselves, but they talk about top voice AI platforms. Our AI platform that we're exposing in the class is VAPI, Voice API AI. And the reason why we're doing it is they have a free version. A lot of these don't have free versions, and they allow us to use in a limited format their phones. They use it on tokens, but we're using it so little, we're able to do it, and we'll be able to integrate with our site. So this article, you see this when we had it here, is a great article. I really like this article that we have. Okay. And then we have the assignment, which is final project 3, where it's in the audit assignment. And let me make sure this is off, right? And in the audit assignment, you can see right here what I want you to do. This is for next week. And basically, some of you have started it, some of you have had it, but the idea here, this is a group project that you need to assign. What you need to do here is you have to create service offerings. Some of you have done this already. You have to upgrade your domain name, and you have to upgrade your domain name through the person that created your Wix account. I want you to implement Notebook LM Remember that you did it and record a podcast, but instead of recording a podcast about the chapters in the book, I want you to have it record a podcast of your company. And where can it get data from your company? Vika, where can it get data from your company? From your URL, right? From your URL, and not even just the homepage, but every single page that you have. And then I want us to eat our own dog food. Or what? We've learned so much here that I want you to have it exposed that other people can see how it can be used. Plus, you can even do this of recording a podcast and teaching people how to do a AI agent phone number, and that can be one of your services. And that can be one of your videos. So what I want in this case is you're going to create a separate page on your website for apps on that page that you will describe each AI tool that you used. Every group member will be doing at least one video. You can do more. And when you do the video, you're going to demonstrate how to use one of the AI software products. And you want to make sure that it's professional. You want to make sure that it's under 5 minutes. Nobody wants to see a long video. So you want to make it, you want to practice, and you want to introduce yourself. You want to look good. You want to look professional. And you're going to explain that tool to someone who is a potential customer of yours. And you want to explain it where you're giving real examples that customer who you're focusing on can use it. And if someone has never used that software, you want to explain like a tutorial how to do it. And also you want to have trust, Ludovica. So you're not selling these softwares, right? They're not your software. You know, when a vendor writes about their software, they're biased, right? They always tell you the pros, they never tell you the cons. How do I get trust in people when I know that they're honest and they're really not so biased? So you also provide the pros and cons of this software within the video, and you'll make sure you'll upload your video to your website, and you need to check that it works. Everybody in your group has to check other people's videos. You want to do a company YouTube account. When your company YouTube account, you all guys know how to do it. And all of these videos you can put into the YouTube account. You can put in also other funny videos, some short videos that you can put that showcases your company. Of course, you want to upgrade. Some of you have not. Select a custom domain name and upgrade using the Wix code we provided. And that domain name should be also, it could even be if your VAPI spelled something, you could even do that. Also check, some extensions are not free, so make sure that it's free. And once you have your VAPI account, you want to make sure that you've upgraded it. Now you want to have Google be able to find you. So you want to be able to connect to the Google search site. In order to do this, you go to the website, you go to Wix in their site mobile and look for their SEO. And what you do is there will be a wizard and you just answer the questions about your company. And then in around 24 hours, you want to check to make sure that Google has found you. Then you want to create a service paging where you're going to provide at least 3 different free services. Because guess what? How many customers do we have now is 0. Who is going to want to pay for you if they don't know about you and they don't have enough trust? What I'm saying is let's give it free. And once they love it and they get a portion, they say, well, now your next session we'll charge for. So you have group training sessions, individual consulting, webinars, and you'll create then a new page for those services. You remember we talked about Notebook LM? So in Notebook LM, you're going to sign in just like you did before with a non-school account. And then in this case, you're going to generate a podcast off your website URL. Not only the home page, but every separate page added. And you'll tweak it to make sure it's not too long, that it sounds good, and then you'll put it on your website. And you can also use that as a service. You'll create podcasts for them, or you'll teach them how to create their own podcast. You give them a choice. And then it shows you basically how you're going to download it, how you're going to make it, upload it to your podcast, to your website. And then you remember VAPI. What's nice about it? You'll do a VAPI phone number for your group. One person will be in charge of that. And then you can help each other, but one person be in charge of it. And here we've had a former in our other classes, we had some guest speaker that basically created it. So this is something that they gave instructions, and you'll edit. You remember the idea that you told me, Isabella, that we have it here, that you'll edit the assistant system prompt to fit your website. This is the part we left default in the VAPI assignment. You're going to add this part. And in this case, you can use Notebook LM to add your website source, and then you create the system prompt, and you can have it talk about your mission. What is the mission of your company? What is the team? What are the services? And it's rather than generic, because there is a large language model in the VAPI, in the voice agent, you'll have your own, and then it tells you here how to exactly embed it into your website, so you can click on it as well, talk with the agent, and you can customize it and access the code. And then you can put also, literally, you can put your VAPI phone number on it and redirect it, selecting it, test the number, make sure that it works properly, like we did with Isabella, and make sure to say that this is an AI agent support phone number, test it and make sure. And remember here, each member is required to check the entire website, that it's complete, all the features work properly. If there are issues, you should help your group members troubleshoot. Remember, this is a group project. And then Lily tells us here, this is part of Lily and our heritage here. Finish part 3, go and enjoy other elements of your life. Okay, isn't that sweet? So you can see when I go to my audit section, right? And I go to my assignment groups, look at my assignment groups, and in my assignment groups, I can see my information. So if I look at this one, let me just look at it, open the link tab. This was from another semester. You can see right away, this was a company, right, that it said, call our AI assistant, Robert. It gives the phone number, right? If I look at the apps here, notice these are the app tools they used, and they even said, which is good, Anastasia demonstrated how Jasper AI assists. Nobody wants to just click on a video if they don't know what it's about. I have more, right? Ludovica, this is the first thing we teach you is, right, is you just don't want to click on videos. Also, you don't even want to waste your time clicking on videos. So I'm just giving you examples here, right? And then the script. Andy demonstrates about Julius. Gwyneth demonstrates about the script, right? And even down here, it says call Robert. I would put even on the agent here. And then on their social media, you want to make sure that their social media works in each place, that it doesn't go to Wix. And then the services. So these are kind of the things of this, the snapshot of their
Professor,
services.
are these the page that you would want us to have, the same exact pages we need to have?
You have it in a different you can have it in a different format, but these are some of the requirements. You don't have to have it look exactly like this. Do you understand? You can make it look a lot better, but you want to have it, Ludovica, you want to make sure that you have your podcast. You want to make sure you have your voice agent on it. You want to make sure you have everybody is contributing on videos. You understand? How you make it is up to you. You know what I mean? Here's another one. What is this one? Let's open in a new tab. Let's see if it works. This was on mental health. So you see here, I'm just giving you an example, and you see right here, Ludovica, listen, an overview of Reflect All, that it's, and then if you play it,
So
it should work.
we've seen AI master, logic, language, even art over the last few years. But what happens when it starts moving into something? Well, something much more personal.
Like emotional well-being.
See, so it does emotional well-being. So it takes from them and does those. It's pretty impressive. So anyways, when you're being able, our team, right? This was what we were doing. You should have had this already, but I'm just telling you, their videos, you can decide how you want to set it up, what you want. And they even use Notebook LM, teaching people how to do podcasts, Abby AI. And again, example of how this is. You can make it look a lot prettier. I'm not saying this is perfect, but at least they have all the components. And then they basically explained by the CISO, Sophia Bennis Hirschfield. So these are who was it explained by as well. And so you can see in terms of explaining, then you can go through it and you can even see already here she's explaining about, hey, reflect, come back. So those are the assignment. If I go back to the assignment, that is the assignment I want you to do for final project site is the assignment. I want you to get it done by next week. And then will it be perfect next week, Ludovica? Of course not. But then you want to have all the components and then keep on improving it.
So will we have like a buffer of time in which we're going to be able to, like, from when it's ready to when, like, we actually have to deliver it to perfection?
You delivered on the 27th to me of April.
Of April, okay.
Right, which is a couple of weeks, right? We have an exam in between, but that's when you need to, that's the delivery. The 27th is a delivery, but what's good about this is I'm able weekly to give you feedback on it. Right, Ludovica? If people don't do anything, right? And then you said, well, why didn't you tell me? I never saw anything to tell you. And that's the whole idea, that we're doing it on a modular basis, that we can go step by step and get feedback and keep on improving. It's a lot of times when they call it like agile development, is that we're agile, we're going to keep on improving it. And then it's a continuous improvement. But I want everybody to get through all the different steps. Questions, comments? Ludovica, do you have a comment?
No, not really. Well, by seeing the websites you've showed us, I just think that, like, there's obviously a lot of work to do still because,
Yeah, and you have to divide it up. And that's the whole idea, that everybody has to contribute. Everybody the owner has to have given each person, and it can't be done by one person. So basically, if you divide it up and say, listen, I'll take on, and I'm not micromanaging. So in the social media side, we're all going to do social media, but I'll do YouTube, you do Instagram, you do TikTok, or is it going to be this is the person that's doing it? So the social media has to be continuous. It can't be a couple of posts at the very end. It has to be continuous. Your group has to follow each other. What I think is a great idea, you have 9 groups in here, reach out to the other groups and say, here are my links. If you follow me, we'll follow you.
Well, I think that's honestly the hardest part, just because as much as a group can be like efficient, for example, my group is really good. The only thing is everybody has, like so many things to do. So
Yeah, well,
coordination is the hardest
that's
part.
life.
That's the
life.
hardest part. But for
It's
the
the
rest, I
hardest
mean,
part. So it's the hardest part. So we overcome it. That's life, my dear. Everybody's like that. You don't think the whole world has problems, right?
no,
Well,
yeah, absolutely. That's why I said
you know,
coordination.
I know people, right? They're in wartime now, and what are they doing? They're working from home and doing their jobs at
I
home
said
when the
coordination.
bombs are falling. So
I
you know
said
what I mean?
coordination exactly for that reason, because everybody is going through this. So
Right,
fitting.
right. The whole world is going, and we have it. I must admit, we have it better than others. But I work with a number of people in the Middle East, and they're working. You understand? They're contacting me to showing me their work, and I said, "Where are you doing?" Sometimes we do it from the bomb shelter. Okay, so we do it. At least there's a bomb shelter, right? In Ukraine, that was the same thing. That anybody hear of Grammarly before? Anybody hear about using Grammarly? It's basically right, Kiko. Where their programmers are from Ukraine. So you think that place is being bombed, right? And what are they doing? They're working from the underground or something, and they don't tell their customers that, hey, by the way, if you're hearing bombs, So people have a way. So we got a unique. What I'm saying, Ludovica, the opposite. We got such a unique opportunity for an exam. We're not having a final exam, but instead I think it's so important, the group exam, that you can show somebody something. Plus you can actually know it. That's the thing. It's not even that grade, whether it's, I know everybody's concerned here and would love to get an A+, and I know that, right? I know but what I'm saying is even more important, and is the idea that, hey, I know what voice agents are and I can do it for you.
Yeah,
And
no,
hey, it's
absolutely.
pretty
The
neat.
project
You
is
know what I
really
mean?
interesting.
So
Yeah, no.
that's what I'm telling you. I realize that, and then it may have to be adjusting. And the idea that now you can farm it out, that some of it can be, that's the beauty too, is you don't have to physically be with each other. I can be in Honolulu and you can be in San Francisco. I don't care. Right, when I'm doing my work, is it needs to be done. But what is important is that everybody also look at the work, that it's not enough that you assign it, right, Kiko? You assign somebody to do a VAPI, and what are the ideas? If you assign somebody to do VAPI, what's good is everybody in the group has done it, so people can help each other. That's the idea too. If we just have one person, I said, okay, I won't get that grade, okay? I don't care, but it's the idea, it's not fair to the rest of the group because you can't help somebody that's going through it. That's the idea. Plus, it's so useful. So that's my gist for it. And then when we talk about enterprise resource planning, let me just show you this for a minute. And Anastasia, thanks for pitching in here. Let me just share with you. So when I go back to the what's due, when I see it, what's important here is for next week, what article. So this article, what I said about the delight is really, it is a delight because it's really useful. And the other one is for next week, which is the ERP, that I'll spend some time. But this is the idea of what is an ERP. So we talked about that enterprise resource planning, what it is. And it includes, so I get that overview of, I have finance, HR. Ludovica stands for what? You know what HR stands for? Human resources, right? HR is human research, manufacturing. So basically I have a unified view of activities of a single truth. So what does that mean? What does that mean in English? What it means is, if I'm a large enterprise, it's really hard for me to know what's happening along each department. Let's say, Ludovica, you were assigned to be president of this university, or let's say even the CFO, right, of this university. It's really, would you really know it's really hard to know what's happening in the School of Business even. Are they, what are their revenues? What is the problem? What is with their students? What's with each department? You know, there's BTE, there's business law, there's finance, there's accounting. Are some departments getting more majors than others? You know, all of a sudden they're deciding to do an AI major, right? Is that a good idea? What's going to happen there? They're now thinking about doing an AI minor for the entire university. Is that where we have to do? We have to figure out where are our resources. So they have this is a great article to understand what is the history of enterprise resource planning, where before was in the mainframe, and then it went to web application, cloud computing, and notice where it is now. Under what? Artificial intelligence. These are enterprise resource planning to help me understand what's happening with all my resources, how I can plan for the future and what's involved in there. Look at that. Gen AI and large language models, and guess what else? AI agents and automated workflows, predictive modeling, composable ERPs. And what they, a common one, that if you work for the university and get a paycheck, you use something called workday.com. And workday.com, if you look at it, is a way, look at that, the leading enterprise AI platform for higher education. Enterprise AI platform. An AI platform is just like VAPI. VAPI was a platform with voice. And look how they're doing it. They're stuffing in everywhere the word AI. They know that that's selling, and know to seamlessly manage all your HR, human resources, all your employees, all your student employees, and finance needs on an open, unified platform with what at the core? AI. It's a new workday. And basically they have smiling pictures. You know, half of this was done with AI, right? This picture, doesn't it look like it's generated? All these, it look like they're generated by AI, don't they? They don't look real. We almost have that sense, right? They got the whole group there. It looks like all AI pictures. And what do? HR, finance, IT. So even IT is a part of it, right? What goes into the data cloud, IT solutions, Workday, the legal part, the operations part, and all covering AI. So that is the way it's done. So do you have access to my group? Do you see what I'm seeing, Ludovica?
Dr. Rush, we can't see your screen.
Okay. Okay. So, questions?
No, everything is clear.
Okay, great. So, Anastasia, do you have the access to the attendance for K?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. So can you just post in the chat the code? And those that have want to see me, talk to me, I'll stay online. Having problems with VAPI, stay online. And you put in the code there in the chat.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
So I'll see everybody next time. Let me make sure.